Good morning, everyone. I'm here today to talk to you about Netiquette Rules for students. The internet has a positive impact on everyone's life ever since it was introduced. It is high time that you use it wisely and have proper respect for other people who are there on the internet. The overall etiquette that you show when you are on the internet is known as netiquette. What is netiquette? The word netiquette is a combination of the words internet and etiquette. Internet is a social platform and everyone can have their opinion about a certain issue. Etiquette is the forms required by good breeding or prescribed by authority to be observed in social or official life. Netiquette is a set of rules that we follow for behaving properly online. It is a term describing how to interact clearly and respectfully with others in an online environment. Moving on in our topic about netiquette, why are netiquette rules important? Most people are familiar with the term etiquette and what it carries. From a young age, we are taught to behave properly and have good manners. Now, with many parts of our lives moving online, including even education, a need has arisen for a set of specific online etiquette guidelines that apply to cyber behavior. Netiquette guidelines are a set of rules that dictate what tasteful and respectful online behavior is, how to speak respectfully without taking part in disrespect or bullying is among the main reasons why we need these rules. These rules tend to change over time due to the changing nature of the online space. For online students like you, all of the communication takes place online, which is why these rules are especially important to them. So, here are a few netiquette rules for online classes that students should be aware of. Number 1, when joining an online class, log in using your personal Google account. Ensure that you provide your real name and avoid using alias. Number 2, be punctual in attending your online classes. As much as you're not the only student in a room, you are certainly not the only user of the internet. Hence, let us respect the schedule of others. Be on time and wait patiently for our turn. Number 3, be sure to wear appropriate attire. Preferable the school uniform for all students, or white shirts with color for male freshmen, or white business or blouses or tops for female students. Number 4, due to data privacy restrictions, do not record the online sessions unless permission is granted by the instructor or your professor. Likewise, before posting a file, photo, video, or conversation, let us be sure that we are not violating someone's right to privacy. Just like on campus, there are some doors we just can't enter. Number 5, be careful with your tone. While an online conversation with friends does not necessarily require much thought, the same does not go for when you are having a conversation with professors. You should be careful with capitalization, as writing in all caps can oftentimes be interpreted as yelling and will be viewed as impolite. Similarly, a joke can oftentimes be perceived as a rude remark. This is why you have to make sure that your point does not get lost in translation. Apart from texting, it is also advisable to be aware of your tone in an online classes that use audio or video forms. However, this is where the rules of general etiquette apply more. For instance, not talking over someone, listening carefully, actively participating in class, etc. Number 6, be accurate and factual. The internet is a vast place with information coming from all sorts of sources. This is why you should be careful when providing information. It's important to fact check everything you read and possibly include sources when giving advice or information. When getting your degree online, you should be careful to include credible sources in all your papers and when you help your classmates by providing information in a subject. Likewise, you should be cautious about what you choose to believe on the internet and what you share with others. For instance, if you're unsure how to go about it, stick to official sites that are known for credibility. Number 7, search first, then ask. If you get stuck with a question on a certain assignment, it's better to search for it before you ask your classmates or the professor. It's possible that you might find your answer fast, and there will be no need to include third parties. The same goes for questions regarding class structure. You may find your answers in the syllabus. Of course, if you fail to find your answer after some time spent searching, you should turn to your professors or peers for help. Number 8, don't use sarcasm freely. While in person, we communicate with the help of facial expressions and gestures. Conveying the same message online can prove more challenging. This is especially true when it comes to sarcastic humor, as it usually is not possible to transmit the tone of voice when using text. A light-hearted joke can be viewed differently in text. You will need to be careful about making the intent behind your words as clear as possible, which is why sarcasm is off limits most times. Number 9, be as polite as you are in person. Being polite on the internet should be as common as in real life. Unfortunately, that is not the case in many situations. A significant number of people tend to use the internet as a cover and their display as a shield, which leads to them writing what they would never say in public. A key part of the netiquette is only typing what you will be comfortable with saying to someone's face. Hence, being respectful and polite to others should be part of your communications online. Number 10, use proper grammar and punctuation. Many people tend to forget the rules that apply to writing when communicating online. However, resorting to proper grammar and punctuation can make the message seem more professional and thought out. Not only does it make your text more readable, but it can also prepare you for professional writing that you might do in the future. Think about what you would like to read yourself. It should be easy to read and comprehensible. That way, you will save precious time for someone reading your email, message, comment, or post. Number 11, stay on topic. When there is a discussion happening, it's crucial that everyone stays on topic. It's easy to stray off the initial conversation, especially when there are many people participating in it. Filling the conversation with unnecessary information can lose precious time and make it hard for someone to understand what the discussion is really about. So, make sure that you understand what the discussion is about and only reply with things relevant to it. This can prove helpful to both you and the others. Number 12, remember that nothing is private online. Online privacy is something you should keep in mind when typing anything. Most things you post and share are probably going to be there for a long time. This means that you should stay away from anything considered inappropriate and rude. Remember that we live in a day and age where many things take place online. And building an online presence is just as important as the real life one. That being said, there is no real privacy on the internet, and you should handle what you share wisely. Number 13, make clear and brief points. Unlike face-to-face interactions, taking too long to get to a point can result in the message getting lost in text. Hence, it's best to use short and clear sentences when trying to explain something. It gets the point across more effectively and leaves less room for misunderstandings. Don't let your point get lost in translation by typing too many unnecessary words. However, make sure that all the information you want to present is still there. Number 14, respect people's privacy. Treat others' privacy the same way you would want some to handle your private information. You should not give the personal information of your classmates and professors online to anyone. This means being careful with passwords, whereabouts, private conversations, and pictures. The same goes for both yours and others' information, as it can be dangerous to distribute any of it without caution. Number 15, use your professor's proper titles. Although using the proper title for your professor should be understood, many people tend to forget it once classes are online. As a result, a certain amount of formality is a vital part of an etiquette guidelines for students like you. Unless the professor states otherwise, you should always refer to them professionally. Apart from using their proper title, you should always be careful to be respectful towards them in all forms of online communication. You should act the same as you would in a traditional classroom. Number 16, respect others' opinions. You should be aware that you're not always going to agree with the opinions of your classmates or professors. However, keep in mind that you should always be respectful in discussions. You can disagree with someone and respect their opinions at the same time. Although online learning carries a level of anonymity and distance which traditional classes don't, that should not serve as a reason to not be kind to someone. Remember that an online classroom is still a classroom. Number 17, don't overuse the chat box. Many online classes come with chat boxes to help students communicate. They serve as a way of letting students communicate with each other and ask questions related to what they are learning. However, if not used carefully, they can turn into a distraction box. You should know to only use the chat box when your text is going to be relevant to the topic you're discussing in class. It's not advisable to use it as a tool for chatting with fellow students about irrelevant matters. Lastly, number 18, submit assignments carefully. Being mindful of how to submit an online assignments to professors should be something every student knows how to do. Since there is no face-to-face interaction, if you fail to put your name on it or mess up the subject line, your assignment can easily be lost in a pile of emails. Another thing, to be careful with when submitting assignments online is attachments. You should not attach files for which you are not sure if the other person will be able to open. Additionally, you should follow specific instructions your professor gives about assignments. On the other side of the screen, don't post any comments or bash students, classmates, and of course, your teachers in the social media. So, here's the general rule. Before you click or post anything, always put yourself at the other side of the screen. Before posting that rude comment, think about a classmate or teacher who may be struggling with a problem. Before sharing your personal information, think about a hacker who may be waiting for a prey. Always be careful. Remember, what goes online stays online forever. On the other side of the screen, don't compare teachers or your professors. Every teacher teaches differently and has their own way style. Please, don't fall into trap of thinking teaching is supposed to be this or that. We teachers are not perfect. We are also human. Online or in life, remember the golden rule. Virtual hugs. Yes, your classmate might be miles away, but you're still a team. Be caring enough to message someone having some technical glitches or to assist a classmate with info such as the link to meeting or a homework to be done. Sorprende self-care is important. Every once in a while, you must take a break in order to renew yourself. This will keep you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy. Spread love, not hate. Kindness can still be felt even in online messages. Avoid using foul words, typing in all caps, or flooding a person with messages. If you need to talk about serious matters, it's better to call that person. Tip: think before you click. If people do not know you personally, and if they cannot see you as you type, what you post online can be taken out of context if you are not careful in the way your message is delivered. Let me give you a summary of what I've been talking about Netiquette Rules. The online community has its own set of rules that are referred to as the Netiquette. There are many things that online students should keep in mind, such as tone of voice, accuracy, proper grammar, privacy, etc. Being familiar with the unwritten rules of the internet and guidelines for interacting online can prove helpful with any online communication you have. For the most part, you should remember to be respectful and fact-check your information. Remember, what you post online speaks volume about who you really are. Post with intention, repost with caution. Here are my references. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you. To God be all the glory.